Oh, and you know what I just realized? We have watched the Spider-Man movies, the Tom Holland ones. We've only ever watched it when not near our hometowns.
Oh my god, you're right.
We watched the first one in Texas, and then the other one we watched in LA.
I guess you can say we were pretty far from home.
Oh shit! I need to stop recording.
I already recorded it.
I, I oh my god. Hello and welcome to the Onsen podcast, where we talk about anime, manga, everything in between, and throw a little extra on the side. My name is Nate.
My name is Jericho.
And today, this entire podcast is all going to be about the 2020 film of Mulan. And just to...
Fa Mulan. Or is it
Fa Mulan.
Is it Fa or Hua?
It's actually Hua. It's
Mulan.
actually... Yeah, it's Hua, 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 Hua. But, so, a few things we want to get out of the way first. Neither of us like this film.
No.
And it basically had nothing to do with we're just gonna get it out of the way real quick. The controversy with the lead actress for Mulan. If I'm not mistaken, her name is Louis Yifei. We understand that she made comments about Hong Kong. That is not going to affect. We have our own opinions of it, but that's not going to affect how we view the movie, how we score it. It's all going to be based on her performance, etc., etc. None of that had any effect on how we viewed this movie. We just viewed it as, I guess you could call it art. But yeah, I don't know. So the Mulan in general, they used the film from Disney of Mulan, which came out in 1998, and that was based on the Ballad of Mulan, which is a fictional folktale of more or less what the story is about. A woman who serves in the army, then from nomadic hordes, and she ends up retiring, gets a deal from the emperor, that kind of stuff. We have not looked too deep into the original story of Mulan, so I'm not too sure how much the movie pulled from the Disney movie and how much they pulled from the actual Ballad of Mulan. But you know, it's nothing significant. Jericho, what were your initial impressions when you watched the trailer? Were you excited to watch the movie? Because I was not.
No, I didn't. And I saw the trailer, and before I knew any of what was being produced out of what Mulan was going to come out of, I saw the trailer, and I just didn't see it as it being a good movie at all. Like some of the actions that they showed was there. I mean, the story that they revealed was, we all know the Mulan story, but it showed more as like, this is an action movie. This is gonna be high octane adventure and stuff. I'm like, whoa, okay, wow. It's like in a very similar format to most if you ever seen any Chinese action movies, they're very over the top, the camera angles and everything. It was very reminiscent of that when I was watching the trailer. Like, oh wow, they're using it's not bad. They're using Chinese action, cinematography, and I'm like, okay, I'm interested. I mean, there's good movies like that China have made.
It was a little dramatic. Yeah, it used some of the old kung fu classic acrobatics. I don't know if you want to call it, or just action sequences. Or it's a little dramatic. Everything's a little floaty, and just in general, the movie itself, I was not excited for it because Disney has butchered so many other live action films. Like, the most egregious one to me was Lion King. I absolutely despise the Lion King. just because one, Lion King sits so close to my heart, but two, it shows that they don't know the heart of what made their movie so successful. They don't. It's just a matter of, we're gonna make it real or live action, and that's the cool thing. And another thing I want to get out of the way, at least for me, I don't care if they follow the movie beat per beat or if they change the story completely, but you gotta, because you're titling it after the movies that you animated, you gotta have a little bit of homage to what you originally made and that kind of stuff. Because, like, let's be honest, the original, like, Cinderella and Little Mermaid stories were not, they weren't, you know, really all happy stories. A good majority of the stories Disney makes, the original folktales aren't really happy and kind of messed up to, you know, to listen to. And so I can understand that they want to change things and make it into their own thing, but don't purposely abuse the fact that people enjoyed those older movies and just more or less I just use nostalgia as like the bait, because that's literally what they do for every single movie. Is they always use
no, they're running out of ideas. They're doing live actions on everything. Lion King live action, Jungle Book live action, Beauty and the Beast live action.
I don't think that it's wrong, because honest to God, like, the fact that it's been making the money, because it has been making the money, I agree with you in the sense of they sort of are running out of ideas, but at the same time, I think they're doing it because of the fact that it just makes the money, plain and simple. The director is Nikki Caro, a female director. Anyone else that's super important? I mean, Jet Li's in the movie. He's the Emperor, and unfortunately, they messed with him a little bit. It seems, because I don't know if you want to call it lip sync, or it looked like the words that were coming out of his mouth were not his own, and it wasn't his voice.
Yeah, it's surprising that Jet Li was in there, but Donnie Yen was in there. That's a bigger deal for me.
Yeah, he's really good.
He's a fantastic actor.
Yeah, and honest to God, Zima, the guy who plays Mulan's dad, I love him. He's a great actor.
Oh yeah,
he really is, and his performance was really good. Like, they just gave him really cheesy lines, and so yeah, it's very, very odd. Very.
Did you know that Jimmy Wong was in the movie too?
No, I didn't know that. I honestly didn't. I didn't know.
He came from YouTube. He's a part of Freddie Wong's group.
That is. Oh, that's cool. Good for him.
Yeah, it was pretty sick.
Good.
He played the Ling character guy.
Good for him. Okay, so real quick, I'm gonna try and put us in a direction here. What was it that you liked about the movie? Just if there was anything at all.
There are some characters I do like that I felt like should have gotten longer run times. Honestly, they should, like, if they did it correctly, they would have had enough content to have reason to make like a Mulan 2 or something. But I like the characters. There's some characters I do like. There's music. The music is really good, actually. It's well thought out within the movie. And honestly, costume design was actually really good. I enjoyed looking at the costumes. That was really good. But what about you? Like, what are some things that you liked about? I mean,
there were some of the music scores that were really good. They weren't I don't think they were utilized well, but some of the music for it was really good. Like, they constantly played like an instrumental or an orchestral instrumental of what's it called? The Girl I See? The song Reflection. That's what it is. And it honest to God is really good song. I like the way it was played, but they used it they used it very cheaply, I think. I still think that the best song was when she was walking up the mountain with the pails, like, you know, when she's, I guess, finally embracing her chi. But other than that, like, some of the choreography in the fights were really cool. There were some very cool certain scenes of the action, but everything for the most part was either too over the top. The camera work was also fuzzy too. I know I'm listing bad things, but I'm just trying so hard to figure out what I actually liked in this. I mean, the acting of the dad was really good. I liked him. I liked the general. And I also love the setting. Like, I know some of it was like very CGI or whatever, but it was very pleasant to look at. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, it was really, I don't know, maybe it was just me, but it was really pleasing to the eyes. So I think they did a good job in those respects. But I guess now we're just gonna have to break with that short of a list. I think we're gonna have to break into what we disliked about it. So, do you want to go at this from like section by section, or do you just want to get it all out on the table and then we'll just chime in as we go?
Let's get it out on the table. There doesn't need to be any sort of like.
Okay, I want to at least get this out of the way. The lead actress. Oh my god. I needed her to make like some sort of facial reaction that entire movie. Her acting was so plain.
It was
her
very
voice
stiff.
is so stiff, and her voice was so stiff. Like it I don't know again, I don't think it necessarily speaking that it's her fault. I mean, it could be. But at the end of the day, she has a director, and that director has to okay, like, you know, give me more of this or give me less of that. And I guess this director said, don't give me anything. It baffles me. It honest to God baffles me how she smiles and laughs once with her sister before she goes to meet the matchmaker because she makes a joke. And then she cries once in front of her dad, like with a sad face, towards the end of the movie. And then I think she smiles one more time, like a couple more times, towards the end of the movie, where she like killed the Hun leader and that kind of stuff.
I mean, people would argue that, hey, the reason why she had a straight face on is because, I mean, she was being cold to people to hide the fact that she was a woman in the first place, and that would have been really hard to convey for an actor to do.
It would be hard to convey, because I absolutely could believe that argument of like, well, women are, you know, supposed to be hide their emotions in that culture, in that society, but it's never expressed that's the norm. The only norm we get like repeated to us is know your duty, know your place, and honor your family.
Yeah,
that's about it.
It was a very like strict vision for the people in that time.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
It was a big deal. It was a huge deal.
Yeah, but facial expressions I don't think were
the way that it was conveyed, and the way that the director was telling her how to do it, and the fact that he's contempt with it was. There needed to be a little bit more emotion to be able to relate to the character. At least that's how I feel right now. Like she's feeling what I'm feeling.
At least when she's by herself too, because there were a good chunk of scenes where she's by herself and she still has the same face when she's with other people.
Oh yeah,
and like her like, moral of the story is her acting was just not there, at least not in her face.
No,
what do you think about the villains?
What about the other characters? The villain. There's one villain I do like. I like the witch. Like, I actually do enjoy her character. I feel like her character just needed more to be fleshed out for us to care about it. The way that she was introduced and the way of like the exposition of why she's there is because of like she was found by the Rohans and like they picked her off the desert and then raised her and found out she had chi that she's using and stuff. And like if there's a little bit more, like if there was just more rivalry between Mulan and her, like introduced, it would have felt way better. Honestly, if this really wasn't a movie and more of a television show, I'd watch it. Because there's a lot of new characters being presented. There's a new enemy that's presented. And this is for existing fans. Like, for fans that know about the 1990s Mulan movie and, like, want to see something, like, fleshed out, more story, more character development. That's what fans want when they see a new Mulan movie. Like, what are they going to convey that they haven't seen before? And that's what I wanted to see. But they did so little to see about these characters that they brought in. I thought they were great ideas to bring in like a witch. This chi thing was very similar to the Force, but that's like, it's fine. The chi thing's fine. You can have that. But
they I swear to God, man, they do such a poor job of explaining what chi is. And so, like, in my eyes, when they talk about chi, all I hear is she has plot device. Mm-hmm. So this is why she can or cannot do things. Stop hiding your plot device, my dear child. Like, if they had done a better explanation of what chi actually is, it would have been much clearer in why, in just what it does. Yeah. Because, like, they keep saying, like, oh, Mulan has a lot of chi. Okay, great. That means that she can do a bunch of kicks and flips, right? Great. The witch has a lot of chi. The witch is supposed to be like the opposite of Mulan, or at least be on the opposite spectrum of Mulan. Okay,
they're different paths of honor that they're trying to achieve.
Yeah, but like the witch can use chi too, right? What does she do? She can turn into a hawk. She can perform like magic.
Yeah.
So, and that's one of the things that bothers me is that it never explicitly tells. Like, is it because she can use chi that she does that? Can Mulan do that? You know, like, and it just feels very forced.
The way that I feel like chi should have been handled, it does feel like the Force, like it's always around us and blah blah blah. But I feel like chi should have been like hereditary, you know, where you're in a family. There's like family is like a huge thing about it, and having chi connected with family and heritage and through genes and stuff. I think having that, like, you're from this family, therefore you have this type of chi where you're faster in movements, you can kick things like crazy, your reflexes are amazing. Or
I don't even
this
know where
person
it
comes from this.
From.
This fan, like, well, no, I'm just trying to make a speculation here. So, like, for the witch, she comes from this family, and they deal in transformations using animals as part of their chi and their connection with nature.
It would have been nice to have rules. I agree.
Yeah, rules would have been nice. Really nice. And chi should be something like, I felt like chi should have been something that you don't exactly just naturally have.
I mean,
like,
for God's sakes, they could have called it the Force, and I would have been okay with that.
Yeah, the Force. But the chi, I think because like, there are points, and there's this thing from like it's an old Disney movie with Brenda Song, where she's basically, you know, a Chinese warrior, her and her ancestors and stuff. But
oh yes, I know what you're talking
remember
about.
That she actually had to train to focus her chi. She was training. She didn't know how to use it. She says, you have the traits, but you can't just use it. You have to learn how to use the chi, and that's what she was doing. Like, she was studying. She was training. She was trying to configure her chi to be effective and efficient, and that's what I want to see Mulan to do. But what they do is they say, no, as a child she already can use chi. She's like, they just threw the baby in the water and the baby can swim already. It's like they could have done so much. Like the child version of Mulan, that's something I didn't see in like the original, like, you know, the old 1990 movie, or I don't know how the actual original story goes as. But like, I was interested in like how Mulan manages to understand, like, as a child, maybe she'll understand she has chi, and then when she gets older, she trains herself to use chi through like combat. Like, she knows, like, okay, I know I have this. My father's going and he's to war. I don't want him to, so I need to start training this, and then goes out to learn how to use her chi instead of just automatically being really strong, you know.
Yep.
It's just
there's no
good
struggle.
character development. There's no relation.
And I like how they keep how they keep saying like, oh, you're stop hiding yourself, Mulan, or stop hiding your power. And like, she's doing it for a reason. She's trying to take that's the one thing that this movie doesn't get, that I think the original Disney film just nailed home. Like, Mulan joined the military not because she was special, not because she wanted to fight. She wanted to make sure that her dad didn't die in the war. And she has to hide as a man so she does not get killed, and so her father doesn't have to fight. She's not doing it because, I no one gets me, I gotta go fight in the war. No. Like, yeah, she's misunderstood and she's somewhat of an outcast. She doesn't fit in.
Which is fine. You can be misunderstood, but
and
you work your way past that.
But that's the thing, is that she works past that, and she was not special. She was a person that had problems or issues, and through whatever journey she went through, she overcame them. Not because she was special, not because she knew some sort of technique. It was all her. Mulan, like in the original film, Mulan climbs up the tower with the weights, called discipline and strength, or just discipline and loyalty.
The mountain, not the tower. The mountain.
No, not the mountain. I'm talking about the original one, the 1998 one.
Oh wait, no, that one's that was not water buckets. It was like just trying to get up a pole.
Yeah, it was the weights. But that's what I'm saying. Like, that entire imagery of her like climbing up. She started in the middle of the night, went through the day, then when the sun rises, she's already on top. That was her through sheer effort and will and her own intelligence to get up that pole. In this one, it's literally just, Mulan, take off your armor and just show the fact that you're a girl, and stop lying to yourself that you're a guy. When she's not trying to be a guy. She's trying to take her father's place. That's not the issue. And so it really gives her of like Mary Sue vibes, because she's already born special for whatever reason, and the movie tries to justify it multiple times, and it doesn't work. Like, again, this is really dumb, because it's a couple dudes talking about feminism. Like, it's kind of the same thing that what Captain Marvel did. Like, oh, she's badass because she's a girl and she has this power and people don't want her to use it. That's not how you can show a strong woman, not just a strong woman, but show that other girls that they can be strong. You show that they're strong because of who they are. Captain Marvel's like super broken because she has power from a cube, and Mulan is strong because she has power from the fact that she has a bunch of chi. The original Mulan is intelligent. She has a bunch of bright ideas, and she executes it and just does it.
Basically, a better word of summarizing it is breaking the bias.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, just
like
shorthand it.
Perfect example. Go watch Avatar, dude. The female characters in that aren't strong because of some weird unique ability, because other people can do what they do. The difference is that they actually perform better and excel because they try. And like I said, maybe it's not my place to say. I just think that you could give better representation, because there are great female actors, great female directors, and great stories to be told.
Well, we should
with
probably
female leads.
Well, yeah, that I feel like we've beat that topic like a dead horse now.
Yeah.
But like moving on, I'd rather talk about the characters that were around Mulan during her training, and just how underwhelming they are in supporting her.
I don't know their names. I only know
it doesn't
Cricket.
matter what their names. Cricket's the only one that we know. But
I know, but I'm yeah.
And honestly, Li Shang is He's not even the general in this one. He's not even a leader. He's like a companion, like a brother in arms in this situation. And I don't know. Like when there's this, like, Mulan's a very serious character. She has a goal and she wants to meet it, and it's a lot of seriousness and drama into it. But you need that comic relief. But the comic relief, the humor in this movie was just not funny. It was very boring. Like, they tried. And it wasn't hitting the mark. Like, they try to take the three main characters who were supporting Mulan in the original animation and then spreading them out thin and making, like, introducing Cricket. There's just way too many smaller characters that's supposed to embody, like the people that were close to Mulan as she was pretending to be a man and in the war they're fighting. But it should have been the humor just didn't nail it, and I don't know how to fix it. It was just you needed to have better jokes, and it just wasn't produced.
The only one who got, like, any sort of, like, real character development was Cricket, and that's just because, like, during their whole training montage thing, Cricket starts to, like, get really good at shooting arrows, and that's just, like, for whatever reason they randomly decide to make that his thing. And no one else gets any sort of character. Even the guy that they cast as who's supposed to be, like, Mulan's romantic interest, sort of, is also really just it's terrible. Nothing changes about him, and they even, like, force a little, like, a fake fight between them because she goes to take a bath in the lake, and he's like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" And they're kind of on good terms. And then, like, Mulan is just, like, she tries to be mean to him and shove him off because, like, oh, she's a girl. She doesn't want to be seen. And it just feels so forced. Like, he's like, look, we got on the wrong foot. And she just a million other things that you could have been said. And instead, he's like, don't, like, you can turn your back on me, but don't turn back on the men, or some shit like that. It was very, very forced.
Again, like I said, like, the companions that she had just were not that effective, and it felt all forced, honestly.
Yep.
In terms of, like, the villains again, though, the Rorons. How do you feel about the Rorons?
Oh my god.
Instead of the Mongols, they chose Rorons. Why do you think they did that?
I think so they didn't offend anyone, but it made no sense why the witch was loyal to him. Like, I guess I know people are gonna try and, like, give the idea, like, oh well, he, she needed acceptance and that kind of thing. She had all the power in that relationship. And I know that there's going to be someone out there who tries to, like, compare that to, like, well, that's like how some abusive relationships or dynamic work for women, where, like, they're being oppressed by a man who's undeserving of his position. And again, I could somewhat understand that if there was actual development between what happened with the mate, like, with the leader and the witch. But all you get is that, like, when I found you, you were scorned and abandoned like a dog or whatever. I'm like, okay, but what did you tell her? What did you promise her? Did you beat her? Did you offer her nice words? Like, what? There's no real reason to why the witch is, like, loyal to him, other than the fact of, like, oh, she wants people to like her, and if he's in power, somehow that's gonna make people like her.
Well, no, here's the thing. She's trying to find place, and like, he found her in the desert on her own, exiled from her family, and he took her in as family. And he made promises to her that he would give her a place to belong when they take over the capital or whatever. And that incentive they gave her incentive to say, these people can help me achieve my goals in my way. And, like, if she decides to just betray them straight on the spot, she's alone. She's on her own again. She has no one to take care of. She at the moment at the desert, she has no purpose until they find her. They give her purpose and they depend on her, and that dependency is somewhat like what do you call that? It feels good to have that for, and then she just wants. I feel like that's the reason why she's six. That's why I like her character, is that the objective is one-sided, but as she goes further down, she starts to learn and stuff. She could turn, but she doesn't, because she has this sense of honor, of honoring her word with them. And of course, they're not the best people to work with, but this is what she knows, and that's how far she knows it. And it would have been so great to see her have an arc to just come back instead of Mulan saying like, "You should work for us," and she's like, "Okay."
That.
It's just
not just that, but like how wishy-washy her allegiance is, and not just that, but like it makes no sense. The scene where she tells Mulan like, yeah, he's about to kill the emperor and stuff like that. Again, no reason why she should tell her that. She had every opportunity to either imprison Mulan, kill Mulan. Just dumb movie reasons that make the story happen.
The witch wanting to kill Mulan.
I know. She would never want to kill Mulan because they're like each other. She likes her, etc., etc.
Well, no, they're just similar.
I'm just
she sees somebody,
yeah,
who has the same
similar,
power as her,
and she can relate to her. Yeah, no, I understand that, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it makes sense of why she wouldn't kill Mulan, but like she's actively trying to mess up her plans with the other guy, and it would make sense if she changed her mind right then and then. But she only seems to change her mind when her and Mulan meet again in the palace, and then they force her to die because
it just wasn't convincing. It was just
yeah.
It wasn't
and then they kill off the witch. They gave her the witch. It wasn't even like an actual, I guess you could say, turning point for the witch either, because Mulan tries to convince her like, hey, join my side, and at first you're like, okay, what happens next? But there's all the witch does is just turn into a hawk and lead her to the bad guy. She leads him to the emperor, and you're like, that was so sudden. There was no real there was no struggle to have there was no real conversation to begin with either. All Mulan just told her was like, you know, you can still choose the righteous path. Okay. It bothered me so much. Also, I really got to point this out. I thought that Mulan and the witch had chemistry, like romantic chemistry, and it felt like they killed the witch, so then that way they could pair off Mulan with the guy in her crew. That's what it felt like to me. I don't know, but that also bothered me, and it felt like that's the reason why they killed the witch. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that it's very interesting how you say that if like Mulan, her love interest was the way that the love interest played out in the movie was that she meets the guy. He's very strong. He's stronger than anybody there, and he sees her as an equal. And like the words that he says during the lake scene or something, it's like it clicks with her and stuff, saying like, this guy, it really seems really reliable and blah blah blah. And then she goes out, does the whole Mongol saving thing, saves him from the avalanche and all that jazz, and then reveals that she's a woman. And then their whole viewpoint changes, and they fight together to stop the Mongol war. He actually appreciates that like she has the guts to come back and inform them of what's going on and the plans. And the love interest is that he is falling for her very, very slowly, and she is just going to go with this romance. Like, yeah, this guy's nice, he's falling for me. But in this case, she has the upper hand in the relationship because she can decide whether she goes with him or not. He is the option. It's not like, oh man, these two have gone through really, really, really tough times and stuff, and like they're starting to build a relationship. When in most of the time he believed that she was a he, and just looking for brothership or something like that. So
Yeah.
I don't. It was a little weird, but in terms of her and the witch's relationship, it could have worked. Honestly, that would have been interesting.
I felt that there was,
and it's funny that you say that because,
especially when she died.
There's a television show called Once Upon a Time, and there was a Mulan in that show.
Really?
Yeah, the Mulan in the show actually got together with Princess Aurora, which is Sleeping Beauty. They actually paired them up and shipped them.
Hot, but
Mulan was considered. Mulan was actually like this was before the movie came out. This was a long time ago. Mulan was actually given a character trait where she was actively gay. She actually was lesbian. She had a relationship with another woman. And that's how the writers for this, and people had there was controversy behind it, but people were fine with it. Like, hey, Mulan, like she's a strong character. She has a strong will. I mean, just like having
I will say this: the reason why they probably would never do that is because, if I'm not mistaken, again, we're not professionals. I don't think China has the brightest light when it comes to the LGBTQ+.
Yeah, there's a lot of
community.
restrictions on Chinese media and how it's consumed in the market. A lot of movies that are made in America get censored very much, so it's able to be placed in it. And the reason why American companies do that is because of profits, of course. They want to be able to have a larger market.
A huge market.
So unfortunately, it's something. There's potential that could be lost of like complexity and character development. When I'm saying the writing feels like a television show, the actors acted out. If it was a television show, the Mulan movie could have just been a television show, and I would have been all right with that.
Not to mention, like, there was no substance in that movie because I think it runs like half an hour more than the original Mulan, because it's about 2 hours to watch the 2020 film Mulan. There is so much that could be cut from that film. I absolutely believe you could whittle down the movie to about an hour.
Yeah,
because it has so many like panning shots that take way too long. I mean, for God's sakes, there's one scene.
No, it's not even panning shots. It's not even panning shots. It's montages. They have so many montages in the movie.
Really?
And they're not even interesting.
I only remember the one.
Yeah, one, and then there's a montage of her when she's. Well, I don't want to say it's a short montage where she's like it's a slow one where she's like
on the horse and she's like
on the horse. Even the part where she's like wearing the armor, donning it, and the sword. That's a small little montage of her putting it all in.
Yep.
The montage of her running on the horse and taking off the armor off. It's just. A lot of it was just conveyed through cinematic terms.
I also want to say this. The reason in the animated film Mulan took off her armor and fought without her armor was because they left her in the tundra. Or like they left her in the mountains with nothing. The reason Mulan took off her armor in the live action film was because for whatever reason, somehow that was affecting her chi. Like, I get it's a whole symbolic thing of, like, showing your true self, but it wasn't
affecting her chi. It was not affecting her chi at all.
No, the only reason why I'm saying it was affecting her chi is because everyone kept telling her, like, stop lying to yourself. Even the witch said, stop lying to yourself. Stop lying that you're a guy.
It was a movie device. It was a way of translating, hey, I'm taking this all off because I want to be myself. I don't want to be this lie.
I get it was symbolism, but it's still stupid.
The movie has what I call an overload of symbolism that doesn't need to be symbolized. You could have just acted that. It could have been delivered normally.
Real quick, I remembered while we were watching this together, you were like, oh, the family phoenix or whatever. It's a symbolism of rebirth, and I tell you, I tell you, like, yeah, it would be a symbol of rebirth if it showed up once. It shows up 5 times in the film.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
It shows up
showing
five
up
times
5 times in the film.
Like, at this point, it would have been better if they had just give it, like, instead of getting rid of Mushu, just have it be a dragon. Like, forget the phoenix, have it be a dragon. So then that way, the symbolism for the phoenix isn't even remotely there. Like,
the dragon is like a symbolism in itself, but a symbol that can actually talk.
I don't know why they went with the phoenix. Like, I understand why they didn't go with like any singing or talking animals.
It's because of the rebirth, like shedding your skin, being born anew. That was what they wanted to convey. The different story. Remember, this is a rendition of Mulan that a director wanted to convey. It wasn't supposed to be on the spot the same as Mulan.
I gotta say,
a different way of telling the story.
Like, again, I'm trying to play devil's advocate here for this director as well, like, because again, I do believe that she made a lot of bad decisions in this movie. But again, a lot of people made bad decisions in this movie, but I also do believe that Disney played a very, like, the actual corporate played a very strong hand in this movie, because every scene, like the plot and everything else in between, it felt so approved. It felt like such like every scene was just filmed, immediately sent to the board of investors, and just say like, "Hey, is this cool? Is this cool, guys?" Because it felt like they risked nothing in this movie. It felt like nothing had any sort of risk in this movie. But that again, this is. And real quick, emphasize this to everyone at home. This is our opinions. You have every right to like this Mulan movie.
And just leave a comment down below. And if you don't agree with us, I mean, if you agree or disagree, just comment down below. Let us know what you think. We'd love to hear feedback.
Honest to God, if there can absolutely be merit to this movie if you like it, because. Like, for God's sakes, at the end of the day, if you like the movie, watch the movie.
If send us a tweet. Like it, send us a Facebook message. Send us a YouTube message or whatever. I don't know. Anything.
Yeah. I'm just...
Let's even talk about how, like, Mulan should have had a bigger bust or something. I don't know.
What is wrong with you?
You're the one who said it last night.
I said it as a joke.
Yeah, but I said that also as a joke. So what is the problem here?
I said it as a joke. But
hey guys, I fixed Mulan.
Yeah. And like, okay.
She's so unrealistic.
So just to also explain my biases, like I love the original Mulan movie. I love the comedy that was out there. I get that people were like, "Oh, but it seemed like it was supposed to be a serious movie when the animated stuff came out." Because the animated Mulan, the poster for it does look very serious, but it was more of a comedy. I understand that, but I love the original voice actress, and yes, I know it's not very, like, I don't know if you want to call it 2020 progressive or anything like that, but it was still a good movie, and it did such a good job in trying to include Chinese influence or Chinese cultural influence into that movie. Even the art style for it had a lot of again, just Chinese cultural influence. I think that the director for the live action, Nikki Caro, I did not like this movie. I don't know much about her other works. I don't think she made good decisions in this film. I don't think that will affect any of her other movies. I just think this was a bad one. And the same thing goes to Louis Yufei. Not a fan of. Yeah, just not a fan of her acting in this. Which is not to say that she did a bad job.
It wasn't AAA budget acting.
Yeah, and like. I know that technically this was made a little bit beforehand, but I feel like COVID had something to do with how they did this movie. This is...
Yeah, you have to take into account of limitations that directors sometimes can't exactly put things in because of conflicts of interest between the board and the company and the director.
And to be fair, none of the actors themselves felt like they did anything terrible. It's just the fact that, like, Louis Yufei just didn't show any emotion.
I think the thing is that the whole experience was mediocre.
Yeah.
The acting was mediocre. Yeah. For some characters,
actually, yeah, I want to say this too.
The story.
The movie was
mediocre.
good. The movie, it was an okay movie.
Yeah, it's an okay. If
you want to show it to your kids or like someone else, it's okay. But in terms of what Disney can produce and what the original animated film produced, this is mid as fuck.
It's okay, but it's not good. It's okay, but not good. That's how I'm
We've
saying
seen worse. I would rather watch this than the Disney's Lion King.
What about Aladdin live action? At least they have the balls to actually like sing the songs.
I don't like how they did that movie in Aladdin.
All right, then I'm gonna scare you right now. What if they made a Hercules live action?
Don't wish that evil upon me, bro.
That movie had so many good songs, and if they decide to scrap all the songs just for action, just action and drama, like what they did with Mulan, how mad would the community would be?
Oh my god, that movie was so good. I love that movie. Also, shout out to the voice actress who voiced Meg, because she awakened something in me. Fuck it, like goth mommies for life. But like in all seriousness, I guarantee you Disney would probably, instead of calling it Hercules, they would call it Heracles, because to anyone out there who doesn't know, the original the actual Greek name for Hercules is Heracles. Hercules is the name that they use in for Romans, and Disney kind of screwed it up in that animated film. But you know, I don't care too much, but I know someone out there does. Shout out to the Greeks. Shout out to the Romans.
It's still going to be Hercules, whether you like it or not, though.
No, I guarantee you they'll change it to Heracles. I guarantee it.
Listen, okay, Heracles, all right. Just imagine that one song where they repeatedly say Hercules and just replace with Heracles. Heracles.
Knowing them, they're gonna knowing them.
Heracles is on a roll. What? Excuse me. That doesn't work.
Oh man. Yeah, I guarantee you they would remove the singing out of that movie as well. I guarantee it. And they would try and make it like super gritty and some type of crap like that. But moral of the story is this movie, it gets a solid like for sure.
It wasn't good, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah,
it was just alright.
Disney's really having trouble understanding what makes their movies special,
but it could be one of those cases where it says, "Wow, what can we do to make a lot of money and not put a lot of money into making it?" Yeah. I absolutely agree. I mean, because they're not doing great right now.
The original Mulan had a budget of $90 million. And had a box office record pull of $304.3 million in return.
Is that worldwide?
I think it's worldwide. Okay. But even if it's not, like, let's just say it's even at home already, they're more than tripling their return for their investment in that movie.
And they're going to continue to make movies like these because they see that, hey, people are watching this, it's working, let's keep doing this way.
Yeah.
And there's that loses the effort into doing things.
Another thing, we did not actively pay for this movie. My brother has Disney Plus, and he decided to get it, and I figured, well, I wasn't going to buy it, so since it's free, let's watch it. Because I refuse to support, one, that kind of business model, and two, I also refuse to support Disney live action films.
The way that people are seeing it as is that this $30 movie is something you're supposed to watch with family and friends. Like, the price of a movie ticket normally is between $7 to $14.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
Yeah, and that's their intention, but it doesn't.
Realistically
work.
Speaking, you're right. It would be cheaper.
It's like, you don't want to do that. You don't want to watch, like, pay $30 and watch a movie that you're not going to enjoy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you at least watched it with one other person, it would be $15 each. And to be honest with you, that's about the price of a normal movie ticket for Orange County. So
yeah. The ticket over here is $7 for a new movie.
Yeah, I know. I think when we went to Texas, when we went to Texas, when we went to go watch, did we watch a Spider-Man film? Yeah, when we watched the original Spider-Man film, and that one was That one was $9.
Yeah, it's not bad. It was actually really good.
I know. But yeah, any final thoughts? Like anything you want to get out? Like,
Yeah, if you're gonna make a movie,
something?
Disney, if you're gonna make a movie, at least put some effort into it. This was half-ass. Just because you're able to do it and be able to make a movie where it's profitable and people will watch it just because of the namesake, that's a fall on the company in itself and its image and its integrity to its own IPs, and it really hurts the brand in a way that doesn't help at all. I mean, people will say it's a good movie and they will like it. And I say it's a good movie, like not a good movie, it's an okay movie, but there should be some sort of responsibility I believe, what do you call that word? It's association? No, like some sort of, like, basically a responsibility towards your fans, your IP, and the brand itself. And you're not helping your case here.
I guess my words are, stop making bad cinematography. Jesus. 4 cuts for Mulan to like grab a sword and hand it to someone. They did my boy Jet Li wrong. They did my boy fucking Zima wrong. They did what's his name? The guy who is the Boron? They did my boy Donnie Yen wrong. No, sorry, that's a general.
Boron?
Still, they did. No, they still
the element?
did Donnie Yen wrong. Oh my god, not Boron. Goron. You know what I mean? The
Goron, the space alien.
The guy, what's the name of the bad guy?
The morons.
Jason Scott Lee. They did my boy Jason Scott Lee wrong. Like, middle finger to you, Disney. Stop this.
Wait,
bad Disney.
Okay, I see. Bori Khan. Oh my god.
Bori
Khan, and you managed to come out with Boron.
Bori Khan, more like this movie was Bori. You know what? I'm gonna stop that. No.
Yeah,
okay. Bye.
This
is over.
Disney needed that accountability, and they just didn't deserve. So deliver.
Yeah. So hopefully y'all enjoyed the podcast. This is gonna be it for us. We're signing off. Stay safe. Wear a mask. The whole 9. And have a good rest of your day.